Andy, you are acting like a baby.
I'm not a baby, I'm a man. I am an anchor man.
You are not a man. You are a big fat joke.
I'm a man who discovered the wheel and built the Eiffel Tower out of metal and brawn. That's what kind of man I am. You're just a woman with a small brain. With a brain a third the size of us. It's science.
I will have you know that I have more talent and more intelligence in my little finger than you do in your entire body, sir.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
You look like a blueberry.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Well, you have bad hair.
What did you say?
I said, your hair looks stupid.
You know how I know that you're gay? How? You like the movie Made in Manhattan?
You know I know you're gay?
How?
I saw you make a spinach dip in a loaf of sourdough bread once.
You know how I know that you're gay?
How?
You have a rainbow bumper sticker on your car that says, I love it when balls are in my face.
That's gay?
God damn it.
I'm ripping your head off right now. It's off, and now I'm throwing it at your body. Fuck you!
Oh.
You guys, she's picking me up in an hour.
Oh, drag, dude.
Wait, she's picking you up from here?
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
Why?
Why? Seriously. I mean, look at this place, man. You gotta see this through the eyes of a woman, you know? What is she gonna think when she comes in here? Oh, look, he's got a billion toys.
So what?
And more video games than a teenaged Asian kid.
All right.
Is that the $6 Million Man's boss?
It's Oscar Goldman.
Why do you have that?
That's worth a lot of money. That's much more valuable than Steve Austin.
Well, that may be the case, but none of this shit is sexy, okay?
I'm not trying to be sexy, man.
I mean, seriously, Asia? You framed an Asia poster? How hard did the people at the frame store laugh when you brought this in?
They did not laugh at me.
Know why you're gay? Because you like Asia.
You guys cool it with the gay.
This is how shit goes here at the Player Haters Ball. We don't fuck around.
I'm laughing at a hater, cause to me it's kinda funny. They be hating on me, because I be making money. A hater ain't nothing but a broke ass nigga who I hate another nigga, cause his bank account is bigger. Hatred is so unbecoming. I keep laughing at a hater while my money keep coming. Whenever I pull up in the Maybach, damn, I know they hate that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't hate the watch, don't hate the chain. Alligator Chuck Taylor on a player hater. All black and gray for all the Raider haters. Everybody hates Chris. If a hater wanna hate, I know they gon' hate this. I don't get mad, I sit back and I laugh. Pay a hater no mind while I'm counting that cash.
Welcome to the Inappropriate MMA Show!
I wonder what the level's like on that. What's up, motherfuckers? There's no way I should even be close to doing this right now. Monocle's just left. We've been climbing mountains all afternoon. And, yeah. But there's no, my dad's back in town tomorrow. I don't know when the fuck else I'm gonna get some shit off my chest. So, here it is. So, if you're actually listening, I apologize, because I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen tonight. It could be bad. Thought I'd open up with a little Slip Capone. So, well, let's see. Is there anything going on? I got the weigh-ins on in the background. I was a little disappointed with the Felice and Paige Van Zant. I was kind of hoping for, I don't know, more ass time, but we didn't get it. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I also thought that their stare down earlier in the week was better than their weigh-in stare down. I gotta say, we'll get to tomorrow's fight shortly, but I was a little bit not sure what was going to happen. But after that stare down, I'm pretty much good with Felice. I feel like Paige Van Zandt started laughing because of Felice's intensity, and Paige is young, not only in age but in the fight world too. I don't know that she's quite ready for it, so we'll see. Either way, this is a big fight for her. Even if she loses, this is going to be a big fight for her because it will probably change her a bit. But anyway, let's go back to last week. So, once again, I was going to take a nap. Didn't happen. I can't seem to nap anymore. And when you're fucking old, that shit's important. So, I was doing shit earlier. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even come close to seeing all the fights. There's too much other shit going on. But we'll go through some stuff. I did see a couple. So Taylor Lapilus beat decisioned Rocky Lee. Don't remember it. I don't know if I saw it or not. Because actually, no, I'm sure I didn't, because that was the first fight, and I came to the party pretty late. Stevie Ray TKO'd Marcin Bandel. Don't know if I saw it or not. Alexandra Albu choked out Isabella Badarek. I did see that one. I was very curious to see how Albu did on her first fight. Only because there's really the only reason I know who she is because of her ass. Go look up, go Google Alexandra Albu bikini. Holy fuck. So I kind of wanted to see what she was all about. If I remember correctly, the first round wasn't, phenomenal, but I guess maybe it got the job done. And I think I don't know why I said I guess maybe it got the job done. It wasn't a decision. I think I had her losing the first round, if I remember correctly. And in the second round, she came out and she submitted her. So that, I'm curious about her, but that's mainly for personal reasons because she has a nice ass. Anthony Hamilton, decision Daniel Omilanzuk. I think that's got to be close. Yautzen Meza, decision. There are a lot of decisions. Decision Damian Stasiak. Sergio Moraes, decision Mikhail Lebote. Bartosz Fabinski, decision Gareth McKellen. Leon Edwards knocked out Seth Baczynski. I remember that. That was 8 seconds. That was pretty fast. That was something. I think he got. Didn't he get a performance of the night? Yeah, he got a performance of the night for that shit. That was fast. Now, it was at this point where I was like, I'm gonna take a fucking nap. This is where I was done. Because if I can just get a nap like every few fucking weeks, it does a huge amount of wonder for me because I just get tired when I don't. So I'm old sucks. But I was gonna take a nap, and I laid down on the couch right when the main card was starting, and I closed my eyes and I was like, I'll watch this later. And then Marina Moroz beat the shit out of Joanne Calderwood. I made it through the first couple, she connected, and once I opened my eyes and saw what was happening, I was like, damn. Now look, I've never fully understood Calderwood. I think I talked about this back when Tough was on. I've never fully gotten her and thought she was great, but at the same time, I didn't expect that. Marina Moroz just beat the shit out of her. And it's always weird when fighters come out and she released some kind of statement, and she looked a little weird. I'm not going to say she looked normal, but she released a statement that something had happened the night before that she was still recovering from. But she's not making any excuses. That's I mean, he just made an excuse. You want to not make excuses? Do what Chael Sonnen does. He beat me. He was a better man. Whatever you're going to say. Boom, done. You know, supposedly he had surgery shortly before the day before the Rashad Evans fight. I don't know if that's true or not. Who fucking knows? But the fact of the matter is, it's believable that he would do that and just go forward and fight. And man, did he look like shit in the Rashad Evans thing. But who knows? I don't know. But every fight, regardless, he's never had an excuse. If he loses, he loses. Just go with that. You lost. She beat you. She was better. She beat the shit out of you, actually. So yeah, Joanne Calderwood lost. I didn't see that coming. That Marina Moroz looked really fucking good, and then she called out Joanna Jędrzejczyk, whatever the fuck her name is, and that was kind of weird because no one really knows who she is, and she's calling out the champion. Powell Pollack beat Sheldon Westcott, decision. Jimmy Manoa, I didn't watch these two fights. Jimmy Manoa, decision. Jan Blachowicz, didn't watch it. I did get to sleep after that. I think I got about 20 minutes. Mirko Filipovic beat Gabriel Gonzaga. Now, here's the thing. All afternoon, pride never dies. Pride, pride, pride. Bring back this person. Bring back Fedor. Bring back Mark Coleman. Bring back all these guys for pride. Okay. Oh, and the other thing that people were fucking posting like crazy, right on into Sunday and Monday, pictures of Gabriel Gonzaga's cut. Apparently everyone forgot the cut that Gabriel Gonzaga put on Crow Cop. Everyone seems to have forgotten that Gabriel Gonzaga beat the shit out of Crow Cop for 2 rounds, and then Crow Cop came back because Gonzaga got tired because he has no conditioning, and Crow Cop fucked him up pretty good. It's just, look, he won. Good for him, and he had some nice shots. But the guy is old. Let him retire. Let him retire. I would still rather him retire now. Just call it quits. He's got to win. End it. There's no reason for you to keep fighting. I don't want to see these old guys keep fighting. If you want to do it, I was thinking about this. Matt Hughes said earlier this week that all it would take for him to fight again is a call from Dana. Now, there's something to that, okay? And by that I mean, look at what the WWE does. They can take guys like The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar and some of these big name guys and just have them come out and fight every once in a while. Matt Hughes is too old to make a run at the title. That's not going to happen. But at the same time, if it's only once every year or so, I'm not going to say I wouldn't be objected to seeing. I don't know who the fuck I would put Matt Hughes against, though. It would have to be like old school stuff, like Matt Hughes and Renzo Gracie, which they're fighting. Oh shit, they're fighting later this year in Abu Dhabi. I wonder when that is. That's coming. I think it's later this year. Maybe it's next year. But I think it's later this year. Anyway, this is what I meant when I said we were in the mountains. We were climbing Mount Everest. It's just he caught Gonzaga, worked well for him, and he finished really fucking strong. And Gonzaga looked like shit in the 3rd round. He started fading with maybe a minute and a half in round 2, if I remember correctly. But I don't want to see Crow Cop fight anymore. I'm just not interested. I want to see new guys come in. I don't want to live in the past. I don't want to live in the Pride days. And really, quite frankly, the Pride guy, name 2 fighters who have come over from Pride and done well. Maybe 3. Maybe I should make it 3. Because, let's see here. Who can we throw in that mix? Like, hardly anybody from Pride has come over and done well. Fedor looked like... Fedor, I don't think, has won in an American promotion since he left Pride. Did he win anything? No, he beat somebody in Strikeforce. He might have one win. Or maybe that was Elite XC. Maybe that wasn't even Strikeforce or Pro Elite or one of those. Affliction. Maybe that's what it was. He beat Andrei Arlovsky. But, you know, Fedor failed. Who else came over from Pride? Both the Nogueira brothers kind of failed. Yeah, Big Nog, I think, didn't he have an interim title? But they didn't live up to the hype. Rampage didn't live up. I mean, he was a UFC champion for 2 fights, and then he went crazy, and then he turned into a whiny little bitch. I guess I'll give you Rampage. You can have Rampage, because he was at least a champion for more than a fight. I can't think of how many times he defended it, but it was more than once. Or it was at least once. So I'll give you Rampage. Who else was big? It's just it didn't work. They didn't come over. It just didn't transition well for most of them. And who knows why it is? It could be the difference between the cage and the ropes, like they say, or it could be the fact that the fights aren't fixed anymore. It could be the fact that they're not on steroids. Vanderlei Silva, there's one for you. Look at how tiny he is, and he's going to yell and bitch and moan about how he's never cheated and he doesn't believe in steroids and all this other shit. Yeah, okay, you keep telling yourself that because you're a lot smaller than you used to be. And I think for a while he had an exemption license, so he could use testosterone, and he's still smaller than he used to be. So I don't know. I'm not really interested in seeing Crow Cop fight again. I do hope he retires. I seriously doubt that he will, but I would like for him to, and just especially off of a win. And it was a nice win, regardless of how the first round and a half, 2 rounds looked. Doesn't matter. He finished strong as shit, man. Just let it go. Now, let's see here. We got fights tomorrow night, okay? And then we got a couple tidbits, and then I might bitch about a couple things because I'm starting to stack up because I've been slacking on stuff. Hell, I didn't even do a show a couple weeks there, too. All right, tomorrow we got Eddie Gordon, which I was surprised. I was watching the weigh-ins with monocles today, sort of. And we were kind of watching stupid videos, too. I was surprised to see Eddie Gordon as the very first fight of the night on Fight Pass. I mean, he won the Ultimate Fighter, and I didn't watch that season, so I've only seen him fight twice. I saw him fight the fight that he won the Ultimate Fighter on, and then I saw his next fight, which I knew he lost, but I couldn't remember to who, so I looked it up earlier. It was Josh Salmon, or Salmon, however you say his name. That was a hell of a knockout. Okay, but really, you're going to put him on the very first fight? Hell, I'd put Diego Brandao on the, under that guy. But anyway, you got Eddie Gordon going against Chris Dempsey. I don't know anything about Chris Dempsey, so I'm going Eddie Gordon. And for people seem to really like the guy, so I'm gonna guess he's a likable guy. So I hope he does something good. Diego Brandao and Jimmy Hedges. I don't like Diego Brandao. Okay, I've never been a big fan of his. Fight-wise, he's fine, but he's just kind of a... I forget which season of Tough he was on, but he was on a season of Tough, and I don't like it when people can't laugh at stuff and they take themselves so seriously, and just relax and laugh and enjoy life. He doesn't really do that. So I'm going to go... I don't think Jimmy Hedges is going to win, but I'm going to go Jimmy Hedges because the power of... It's like the Yes movement. It's the Jimmy Hedges movement. George Sullivan versus Tim Means. I'm not sure who George Sullivan is, so I'm going to go Tim Means. That's your preliminary card. Now here's that, and that's going to start 6, 5. That's going to start probably 4:45 or so. Somewhere in that time frame, Eastern time. Now, then we go to the prelims. Now, the thing to keep in mind on this is everything is on Fox after Fight Pass. So the prelims and the main card are Fox. And I know this starts at 6 o'clock Eastern time. You got Takeya Mizugaki and Aljamain Sterling. I'm going to go Mizugaki because he needs, after getting his ass beat by, I think that was him, by, what's knee man? Uriah Faber's nemesis. The fuck is his name? Dominic Cruz? Yeah, he got his ass beat bad by Dominic Cruz. And I don't think he's going to want another loss in a row. So I'm going with Takeya Mizugaki. Corey Anderson and Jean Vellante. I'm going to go Corey Anderson. Let me see something here. Wait a minute. Who is Corey Anderson? Oh, is he the runner-up? Maybe he was the runner-up. No, he's not the runner-up. He won Ultimate Fighter Light Heavyweight. Okay, so that's who Corey Anderson is. Okay, sorry. And Jean Vellante. Well, if he won Ultimate Fighter, I'll go Corey Anderson because he's got a little bit of youth. But that's a pretty big fight for him because I was just looking, who else has he fought? I mean, he beat Matt Van Buren for the tournament, Ultimate Fighter win, and he beat Justin Jones. So Jean Vellante is, he's got some experience to him. I'm still going Corey Anderson. Ovince St. Preux and Patrick Cummins. Look, man, Patrick Cummins has been looking better and better as far as I'm concerned. Every fight that I've seen him in a whole lot of fights. I watched some of his fights before he fought Cormier, and I really wasn't that impressed with him. And after that Cormier fight, I kept kind of watching him, and he's improved a lot. Look, Ovince St. Preux, I mean, he's coming off. Didn't he beat? Let me click on him. He just beat somebody. Was it Hua? Down. Yeah, he just beat Hua. Now, here's the thing. He lost to Bader. He lost to Gegard Mousasi. Yeah, I mean, Hua's a big win. I consider that, it was a 34-second win. It was a good shot, and then it was over with a TKO. I kind of remember that one. Ryan Bader, I like Ryan Bader. But look, I guess what I'm getting at as I'm rambling, holy shit, never mind. Patrick Cummins. He's just, every time I see him, he's looking better and better. I'm going Patrick Cummins. Jim Miller and Beneil Dariush. Now, this could be fight of the night. This could be interesting. I think I'm gonna go Jim Miller because whenever I go against Jim Miller, he always wins. So I guess that means I'm gonna lose this time. But I'm going Jim Miller. But this could be a fun fight, and it's a big fight for Beneil Dariush. He's got that win over Crookshank. Shit, that was just a month ago. Who got hurt? Who was supposed to fight Jim Miller? Paul Felder was supposed to fight Jim Miller. Okay. Injury bug is going strong these days. Felice Herrig and Paige Van Zandt, main card. I don't remember what I said earlier and what I didn't say earlier, but I got Felice on this one. Paige Van Zandt, she reminds me of a young Uriah Faber. Okay, she is just very versatile, and she can from what I've seen, she just kind of makes crazy shit up. And I don't know. She's 21 now. I don't know. I don't know anything about her personally. I know that when she did her face-off with Felice the other day, to me, her little smiling thing was a uncomfortable, oh shit, I don't really know how to react. I've never had anyone this intense in front of me. Because I think from the weigh-ins that I've seen, most of her weigh-ins are a little bit happier, and this one, Felice isn't. Felice, I think, was pissed off a while ago when Paige was out celebrating her birthday, which I don't think is that big of a deal, but other people apparently did. I thought it was cool she was doing body shots off of some chick. But anything can happen, and if Paige Van Zandt wins, I don't think it's going to be a decision. It'll be a knockout or a TKO, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I think Felice has a shitload more experience, and this is a really big fight for Paige Van Zandt. She fought in the UFC earlier on Fight Pass. She's gone from fighting on Fight Pass to getting a Reebok deal and fighting on the main card on Fox. I'm not sure you're going to get any more exposure than that. Felice has kind of had exposure. Everyone knows her. She's had a couple of those shows, Fight Girls. She's got a little something more. So I think Felice has this one. Cub Swanson and Max Holloway. I think Cub Swanson's going to win. I really hope Max Holloway wins, though. I just don't see it happening. Cub Swanson's going to get inside, and he's going to get his distance and fuck up Max Holloway. But I hope I'm wrong. I like Max Holloway, and I'd just like to see some changes every once in a while. Cub Swanson's always up at the top. I want to see changes. Ronaldo Souza, I was really sad when Yoel pulled out. I was really, really, really looking forward to that fight. Didn't happen. We're getting Chris Camozzi back. This is his third take in the UFC. I wish him well, but I really think that they are just feeding Jacare just to make him strong. I think that he should be fighting for the title. I know that the Lyoto Machida Luke Rockhold fight, that's going to be the one. Winner's going to fight winner of Weidman and Belfort. But man, I don't know. I think Jacare should be fighting. They're going to have him do one more fight. My guess is this. He's either going to fight the loser of Weidman Belfort on the same card that the winner of Machida Rockhold fight, that winner of Weidman Belfort, the champion, or if there's a rematch, he's going to fight the winner of Machida Rockhold, and that'll be the number one contender. But it's just I don't know, man. He's a monster. So I would like to see. I don't know. I always like watching Jacare fight, but I really was looking forward to that Yoel Romero fight. But anyway, in this one, it's just Souza isn't going to have a problem. It's no problem. Lyoto Machida and Luke Rockhold. Now, this one, here's the deal, and I was looking at Luke Rockhold's fights and stuff earlier. People talk about how great Luke Rockhold is. Okay, I'm not saying he's not. He's very, very good. This is a huge fight for him, though. It's not like he's had a lot of really big fights and big wins. Let me see here. He's only had like one or two big wins. Down. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, his biggest wins are Jacare and Tim Kennedy, and that was 3 and 4 years ago. Yeah, he beat Michael Bisping. I'm not all that sold on Michael Bisping. It's another one. Everyone says Michael Bisping is great. Michael Bisping is great. I never saw it. He does nothing for me. He's very good. He'll never fight for a title. That's going to be his legacy. He's going to be the UFC fighter that made millions of dollars who never fought for a title. He's never fought for a title, right? Oh shit, I'm looking at Rockhold. Yeah, I mean he hasn't. I'm thinking it. He never got his Anderson Silva match. He was always one win away and never made it happen. So I just don't see that as that big. Tim Boetsch and Costa Philippou, I don't see him as big. He lost to Vitor. Tim Kennedy's a legit win. Keith Jardine, Jacare, legit win. Paul Bradley, Jesse Taylor, So, this is a big fight for him. I don't see him pulling it off, though. I got Jacare. I'm sorry, not Jacare. Lyoto. And I think Lyoto is going to finish him. So that's my take for tomorrow night. Now, a couple little tidbits that I took some notes on. So, one thing I want to talk about real quick about tomorrow night's fights. Monocles and I figured out time travel. That's another story, though. It's a very productive afternoon. Jacare's manager, called out Bisping basically, and said Bisping wouldn't take the fight. Well, Bisping was never offered the fight. Like it was, he said Bisping pushed out, he didn't take the fight, He was never offered it. Dana White can't pull Michael Bisping. And I've seen a couple of people tweet about Michael Bisping should have taken a fight. And look, he's got a fight a week later on a pay-per-view card that has nobody. He's the co-main event. That's not good. That's bad. There's no chance that Dana's going to let that go. So, they did what they could with Chris Camozzi. But it was a really stupid, just argument and thing to say. And apparently then he came out and said, oh, well, he didn't say Michael Bisping didn't sign the contract. He said Michael Bisping didn't come out and volunteer. Well, what the fuck is he supposed to volunteer for? He's training for another fight, stupid. Tough Brazil 4 is airing now on Fight Pass. I'm not watching it, but they are pushing hard. And I probably will watch this episode anyway. This is the episode comes out on Monday where Anderson Silva is removed from the show for steroids. I'm curious to just kind of see. I'd like to see what his reaction is. I hope they show his face. I'd like to see if there's surprise and shock or not. And then also Anderson Silva's been in the MMA news a couple times this week. One, he wants a rematch with Nick Diaz. I'm not interested in it. He didn't ask me, but that is just a fight that I don't care about. It just didn't do it for me. But he wants a rematch, probably because he made a shit ton of money. And he is also making a bid in the Olympics. Now let me pull this one up. He is going, and he's talked about this for years. He's finally apparently ready to move forward with it, though. He wants to compete in the Olympics in Taekwondo. I would love, and I've said this on the show before, I would love to see Anderson Silva in the Olympics. I would rather see Anderson Silva in the Olympics and in Metamoris and shit like that than seeing him compete in the octagon. He is my favorite fighter there is. In my opinion, he is the best martial artist in MMA. He's my favorite martial artist, and he's easily the GOAT for me. People say Fedor, Some people say John Jones. John Jones will probably be there, but here's the thing. Anderson Silva hardly took any damage. Now, forgetting about his last two fights where he got a flash knockout followed by a knockout, and he broke his shin. Forgetting about that, especially the shin. The shin, it's a really weird one to say he didn't take a lot of damage, and then there's like video of him breaking his shin bone in half. Okay, you know what I mean when I say damage. He hardly got hit. That's got to say something. His accuracy, his knockouts, and the fact that he was very evasive and hardly ever got hit. That's pretty amazing. But whatever. That said, I would really, this is what I want to see him do. I want to see him do this stuff. Now, I don't think he's going to be very good at it. He released a video. So basically, the Brazilian Taekwondo Committee said it's a very good possibility that he could be in the Olympics. But some of the people who are training for the Olympics are all pissed off because they think Anderson Silva is just going to skate in there and not go through the same channels and avenues that they have to go. Now, the commission, I guess, hasn't really responded one way or the other. And I guess I understand what they're saying, but, they're also saying, it's going to be treated like a business. And, well, it is a business. That's the thing. And it sucks. And I'm not saying it's right. Because, one of the guys who's training for the Olympics in Brazil was talking about how it would be like a UFC fighter getting a title on her first fight. I get it. Now, Anderson released a video of him training in Taekwondo earlier this week. And I don't know if he was kidding around or not. It was very slow. But that's going to be his biggest problem. Taekwondo guys are fast as shit. And Anderson Silva would, if Anderson Silva went full contact, which they're supposed to, there's not a lot of people that are going to be able to a couple of round kicks from Anderson Silva. Even if they block him, he's going to hit them harder than probably most of them have ever been hit. And there's something to that. There's a strategy to that. Taekwondo guys are. I've been doing Taekwondo since I was 6. Taekwondo guys are generally very, very fast, and they're going to be able to move a little bit faster on their kick deliveries than Anderson is. But Anderson will fuck them up. And if I were him, I'd fucking just go fucking crazy with just a big fucking kick right at the beginning and just fuck up their arms. But anyway, I would like to see this. I hope it happens. We'll see. He said that he wants to. Well, let's see. His statement was, "So guys, I know I'm totally out of shape because I haven't trained for a long time, but I'm willing to try, and for that reason I'm working hard. If I don't do this, we will never know if I can really make it. I will train a lot like I always did to try to get to the Olympic Games. I'm at a different level. The Olympic athletes are almost like super athletes, like Rusev. Light years ahead of anyone, but I will get out of my comfort zone and try. The worst that can happen is not getting the results, but at least I will be sure that I tried. Besides that, I'm doing it because I want to test myself, know how far I can go because I believe that our mind is fantastic. If our mind is well, it makes us do things that are seen as impossible by others." Okay, and then it's got the video. This is on his Instagram. I don't know. He was just... It may have been a very slow warm-up. He may have been goofing around. I don't know. But he's definitely going to have to get faster than that shit. So there's Anderson Silva. Let's see, what else is going on here? I started reading... I've had it on the list for a while. There is an article about Strange Brew from season 1 of Tough, and I finally opened it up. It's just been busy. It's like it's gonna take me 6 hours just to read the thing. So I'm gonna come back to it maybe because it looks really interesting. I've heard really good things about it. But I guess I'd recommend it, even though I haven't seen it. Or I'm sorry, even though I haven't read it. I guess I'd recommend it just based on what I've heard people talking about it. So yeah, check it out. Just look up Whatever Happened to Strange Brew and you'll find it. Mortal Kombat 10, we talked about Felice Herrig earlier. So there's an article on MMA Junkie. Is it MMA Junkie? No. Kotaku. Maybe MMA Junkie retweeted it because I think they had something to do with it. Kotaku.com. And if you like Google search Kotaku and Felice Herrig, it's the headline is MMA star says Mortal Kombat lightness cannot be a coincidence. So there's some chick in this Mortal Kombat 10 game, and you know she's got something. I mean, it's some of the poses and stuff that I guess they released in this video clip of this character. Cassie Cage is the character's name. You know, there's pictures of Cassie Cage and then Felice Herrig, and I gotta say, you know, it's there's something there. There's definitely something there. And in the finishing move, she takes a selfie, which of course is what Felice is very known for. But it's you know, the likenesses and the similarities in the pictures. Like there's one of the pictures is of her with her one hand in a fist and the other palm on top of the fist, and then there's a picture right next to it of Felice in the same pose. Like it's just interesting. So she'll probably get a couple bucks out of it. I don't think she's going to be retiring on it, but she'll get a car. I think I talked about Wanderlei Silva being still sad last week. I didn't cross it off, but if I didn't, just briefly, he thinks that Dana White and the out-of-competition drug tests are unconstitutional. Now, I'm not sure. Let me open that up. I don't know if he's an American citizen, so I'm not sure the Constitution applies to him. Maybe that's just the Bill of Rights. I'm not sure. Yeah, Bill of Rights, we the people. But I feel like the Constitution is not for non-Americans. But I still don't think I don't understand why this is so hard to figure out. Okay, here we go. So, an exclusive interview the Axiom to discuss with the current status of lawsuit, blah, 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 blah. Okay. If I'm going to fight you today, I have to be clean today. There are anti-inflammatories and painkillers that are considered doping, but are not. I'm against steroids. Steroids are bad. You use a shit out of them in Japan. But the fighter has a right to do anything he wants out of competition. Okay. I'm against steroids. Steroids are bad. But a fighter has the right to do anything he wants out of competition. Huh. Okay. I guess we could go with that one. That's his right. You can't get into his life and take his blood to see what he's doing. I'm against all types of drugs and steroids, but the athlete has a right to have a private life. He has to be clean on the day of competition. Out of competition, that's his life. Okay, I have a few problems with this, and I've talked about this before. I really should, and I'm thinking about it. I can put in a call, and I have a connection to what the fuck was the old director of the athletic commission? Keith Kaiser. I actually have a legitimate connection to him, and I've been thinking more about bringing him in. But here's the thing. First of all, what is competition and what is out of competition? I think as soon as a contract is signed, you're in competition. That's what I think should happen. But it certainly isn't. I don't think you can just say it's the day of the fight. You can go take steroids and testosterone and everything else right on up. You can take it Friday night at 11 o'clock, but you can't take it on Saturday. I'm not sure that would really do a lot of good, Wanderlei. I don't know that he's thought it through fully. Let me see. Is there anything else? He talked about how it's unconstitutional. How long is this? You always mention something for your 50th MMA fight. I'll be sad that I can't do it. UFC has taken away your desire to fight. They're fucking everything up. They don't know what they're doing. A guy never tested positive for anything. The Athletic Commission has no jurisdiction whatsoever over him. He hasn't signed a bout agreement, and they ban him. Well, you ran. I'm not saying that the commission doesn't have some things to fix. They do. But he didn't even take the test. No one knows what he had in his system. He said it was some bullshit because of his hand that he broke on Tough Brazil 3 months earlier. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no clue. We'll never know, though, because he didn't take the test. Do you think the UFC has any influence over the commission? I heard that Fertitta was the president of this commission before. I don't know that he was the president, but he was a member of the commission. Lorenzo was. Who names these guys to be part of the commission? Do you think the UFC and the commission knew that Anderson Silva failed a drug test but still let him fight? This will be interesting because Anderson's his buddy. The problem is they let a juiced fighter compete against a clean fighter. Sort of clean, because Nick tested positive for weed. But that's a stupid thing. They didn't fight in equal conditions. On fight night, you have to be clean. See, this is again. So you can go use your steroids right on up to fight night. You have to be clean on fight night. That didn't happen, but he fought anyway. Why? Because it was for the main event of one of the biggest pay-per-view cards of the year. This is not a sport. This is a circus. This is all a setup, and we don't accept that. The problem is not about this or that, blah, 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 blah. Look, I don't know if Anderson Silva was juiced up day of the fight or not, as he likes to say. But I still think they knew, and I think they let it go. Why do you think the Athletic Commission treats you differently? Because I'm going against the president of this promotion, and because I won't shut up. People ask me why I haven't spoken about it before. I haven't because they would cut me if I did, and they have a monopoly. There's other organizations out there. You can't fight. The problem that you have is with the Athletic Commission. Okay? You still have a fight on your UFC contract. I wish I could talk to Vanderlei. Maybe I could get through to him. You still have a fight on your UFC contract, okay? UFC would gladly give you a fight. They tried giving you a fight, and you ran from your drug test. They would gladly. UFC likes to make money. They're all for making money. You make money. People out there love you. They go crazy for you. Vanderlei, fucking Crow Cop, all this bullshit, okay? They would love nothing more than to put you on a card. But you have to get unsuspended first. The UFC, even if the UFC released you from a contract, technically you can't do anything. It doesn't matter. So the whole thing is just weird. Let's see here. Let's see here. They have nowhere to go. I'm free now. I can speak the truth. Everything I say is the truth. The UFC isn't this whole glamour everybody thinks. They don't pay you right. They pay you what they say they're going to pay you. They pay you more than every other fight organization there is. But that's not enough, apparently. In fact, I want to know if it's true that Canadian journalist Brian D'Souza, who asked Jose Aldo about his money, was fired from his website and nobody talked about it. I didn't see it anywhere. Why? Journalists should be united. You always seem to be in a good relationship with Dana. When did it change? I was a soldier. I came from Pride and I was well paid there. I was one of the best fighters in the world. But I'm fighting for the new athletes that can't make enough money to have their own house and car. I'm fighting for them. I could just sit on my couch and say that's not my problem. But I'm here to fight for them because it's not fair the way they're treated and how much they are paid. Why don't you go yell at fucking Bellator and World Series of Fighting? Bellator barely pays her. You know what? Let me see something. Is there a... Let's look at a Bellator salary. Shit, I gotta find my home row. Bellator salaries. Bellator 133, February 16th, 2015. Okay, let's see here. Now, UFC, I think starting salaries are 8-8. Okay. The prelims, the undercard on Bellator, and 8-8 is for an undercard. That's a Fight Pass card. Okay. Bellator is 1-1. John Paul Elias got $1,000. Cody Sons got $2,000. So they're paying 1-1. They have Viacom. That's a lot bigger than Zuffa. But they're paying 1-1 for the guys who are fighting on their undercards, and UFC pays 8-8. I don't get it. Okay, but whatever. I guess whatever. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't get it. Yeah, Vanderlei Silva just needs to shush. Did Vanderlei think about joining a lawsuit? This is on MMAfighting.com, by the way. How much money would you lose? Oh, yeah, the Reebok deal. He doesn't like that because you're going to lose money from it. Did you have an update on your lawsuit against the Nevada Athletic Commission? So he is suing the Athletic Commission, which is what he should do. That's what I'm fighting for. What the fuck? Why is it a lot different from fighter to fighter? How, he's talking about some people get busted and get this much, and other people get busted for the same thing and get this much. I will make Dana White release me from my contract for free. If he doesn't do that, he will regret it. I'm getting pissed and fighters are getting united. He will spend more money with this instead of just letting me walk. UFC asked the commission to increase the out-of-competition testing. Do you agree or disagree with that? I'm going to fight you today. I have to be clean today. He's still on this. There's anti-inflammatories and painkillers. Yeah, it's just... Look, there's certain things that maybe shouldn't be a big deal. Caffeine. Okay? If you drink a soda, you're fucked. Fucking aspirin. You can't take aspirin. If you're a fighter and you wake up with a headache and it's fight day, you can't take aspirin to get rid of your headache. That's silly. I mean, that's just dumb. And no one's going to change anything because it's, Olympic rules and shit like that. Yeah, so Vanderlei, I don't think I went over that because I don't remember going over all that shit. So Vanderlei's still sad and pissed off and still dumb apparently too. Nate Diaz versus Matt Brown was talked about for 189. Nate Diaz pulled the plug on that and said, "No, you know what? I think I want to fight Pettis." And Pettis was like, "Sure, I'll fight him, I guess." And Matt Brown was like, "Oh, I guess I'm not going to fight him." And Nate Diaz was like, "Yeah, fuck you, Stockton 209, bitch, what?" And Anthony Pettis was like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to fight Miles Jury instead," because Anthony Pettis is going to fight Miles Jury instead. And then Jim Miller was all like, who the fuck did Jim Miller just get matched up with? No, wait, Jim Miller, not Jim Miller. The fuck is his name? Jim Miller. What the fuck is his name? I'm looking right at him. Matt, oh, son of a bitch. Matt Brown, that's who it is. Yeah, not Jim Miller. Maybe Matt Brown didn't get matched up with anybody yet. But Matt Brown said the fight's off. It's not going to happen. I don't know what Nate Diaz is doing. He's another one who should probably retire, but he won't. He's ridiculously punch drunk. He's... I go back and look at him on Tough and listen to him now. He won't. He's going to sit back and bitch about all the fights that he wants that he won't get, because you don't get all these fights not really doing much. Again, he lost a fucking title fight. okay, in a pretty big fashion. And then he comes back and wants to like renegotiate his. No, you know what? Then he beat Gray Maynard, didn't he? Who's basically well past retirement at this point. And then he wanted to. Let's look at this. So he beat Jim Miller. He went on a pretty good tear there. Takanori Gomi, Donald Cerrone, Jim Miller. Those were good ones. Okay. He lost to Ben Henderson in a title fight. Then he lost to Josh Thompson. Then he said, fuck you, I want to renegotiate my shit. And, then he fought Gray Maynard, that's right. And he lost to Gray Maynard. Or no, he beat Gray Maynard, but Gray Maynard's like old as shit. Gray Maynard should have retired 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. Well past his prime. After he beat Gray Maynard, a washed up fighter, he said, I want to renegotiate my shit. And UFC said, fuck you. So he wasted a year. Then he got Rafael dos Anjos, which led Rafael dos Anjos to a title fight with Pettis. Now, he got his ass beat pretty bad, pretty substantially, if I remember correctly. And he missed weight. And he's going to go try to fight the former champion. Fight whoever the UFC says you can fight. Because at least they're still letting you fight. I don't know what you're trying to do. But yeah, just Nate Diaz needs to fix some shit. They announced Dillashaw and Barao 2 is going to be on UFC on Fox 16. I'm not sure the date, but that's the next one because tomorrow's 15. That's where that fight should be. I mean, there's certain fights. I think I said it. The winner, Felice and Paige Van Zandt, is going to get the title shot. It's a perfect platform for that fight. Put it on Fox. It's absolutely perfect. There's exposure there. Demetrius Johnson, I think, should be fighting on Fox over Fox Sports 1. Put the title fights on Fox. So I think that's great for Demetrius Johnson. Or not Demetrius Johnson, for Barao and Dillashaw. That's perfect platform for them. No one wants to see it on pay-per-view again. So that's good. I like that. Phil Davis signed with Bellator. He'll wind up champion. I was talking to MMA enthusiasts about this, who, if I was more awake, I would kill off, but I'm not more awake. I think they're going to give him Rampage. It makes sense to me. It's a decently solid fight that people know Rampage. It's a terrible fight for Rampage, and they're probably mad at him because of the whole I'm going to go fight for the UFC thing. So they're probably not looking to make Rampage happy. And to me, sure, Rampage is always dangerous, but this is a gimme fight for Phil Davis. And I think Phil Davis will run that division for a bit. This is a really good move for him. And yeah, sure, he might be able to make it back in the UFC at some point. He's a hit or miss guy. I've seen him fight where he looks like he has some of the best wrestling in MMA. And then I see him fight where nothing happens. Like that fucking... And that was bad on both parts. Bader didn't help either. But that fucking Bader fight was so boring. So I just, he could make another run in the UFC. But the fact of the matter is, I see him being champion. Shit, probably by the end of the year. I mean, you give him a fight, and then you can give him a title fight. It's Phil Davis. I mean, he's ranked probably top 5 still, even with the loss to Bader. Well, no, he might be just out of top 5. I bet Bader's in top 5 now, but he's probably top 6 or 7, and that means I think that automatically puts you in like number 1 in Bellator and World Series of Fighting. And it's just, it's a no-brainer. Ronda Rousey has a book. Walmart is not going to sell the book because Ronda Rousey is too violent. Now, first of all, who buys books anymore? Doesn't everyone just go to fucking like Kindle and Amazon and shit like that. I mean, seriously, it's a hell of a lot better and easier. That said, you know, I don't really understand it. It's because she's too violent. She's a professional athlete. I mean, are you not going to have other martial arts books in there? You sell guns. I'm all for guns. But are we really not going to have, like guns can be violent, but it's just silly. It's absolutely silly. You, like, probably have warehouses in the middle, like, run by fucking, like, terrorists and shit. In the middle of the Middle East area and shit for all your cheap labor that you guys get away with. It's stupid that you're going to say Ronda Rousey is too violent. Now, yeah, I'll bring this one up. So, there was a little cat fight on Twitter. You know, Beck Hyatt, or I don't know what she's going by. Is she going by Hyatt now? Beck Rawlings. Okay. So, Lisa Ellis and Beck Rawlings are fighting. And Lisa Ellis made a comment on Twitter, "Busy mama, I'd rather be busy than leave my family to go, quote, train somewhere else. I love my family, UFC." Now, I guess that's referring to Beck, who left Australia and was doing some training out in California. I think she's done some stuff with Diaz brothers and Cesar Gracie. She's doing I forgot who she's with now, but I guess that's a little bit of a dig at Beck Rawlings. So Beck heard about it and said, "Yeah, Lisa Ellis, spend as much time as you can with her. Mommy will be lucky to leave UFC cage with her life, let alone looking the same." Lisa Ellis did a thumbs up, and then Angela Magana comes in. I like Angela Magana. I get it. It says the cunt who left her newborn and didn't try to win, then had option to leave and chose to stay to hear gossip. Shut the fuck up. Lisa Ellis: "Angela, you're beyond delusional and a liar. I'm okay with my choices." Angela: "If I was you, I'd definitely make better choices, like the one to wash your vagina. That trench pussy is stank. Wash your gash." Lisa Ellis: "Yeah, okay." Says your nasty, crusty underwear you left out constantly. Please, you're funny. So this went on. I don't know how far it went because I kind of gave up listening to it. Or not listening to it, but following it. Because sometimes it's hard to fucking follow all these conversations. Today, I saw that apparently, and I don't know if it was a joke or not, but Beck and Angela said that was just a social experiment. And they thought it was interesting that a woman can talk about killing someone in front of their kids and all these different things. And no one really got all pissed off. I guess on Twitter, no one got all pissed off until someone mentioned someone else's vagina. There's probably some truth to that. It wouldn't surprise me if people were kind of pissed off about that. Chael's show, look, he did an interview that everyone was talking about with a judge. And I started listening to it. I did not get all the way through it, but it sure seemed interesting. So I'm definitely going to check it out. Luke Thomas, I'm trying to figure out what his deal is. He pisses me off, and I don't know why everyone listens to him, but I'm probably just jealous of him. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out the Luke Thomas thing. Anything in general? Hadron Collider is going to look for parallel universes and black holes. Look. Black holes are interesting. Interstellar came out on video recently. If you didn't see it in a theater, go rent it. What a fucking movie that was. And I'm going to watch it again. I'm looking forward to watching it again. They do talk about black holes and shit like that in there. Black holes are some shit, man. I mean, that is some absolute shit. What happens if we open up a black hole and we wind up like fucking sucked into it, and it's a wormhole that takes us to, you know, thousands of years in the past or thousands of years in the future? Or what if it is a parallel universe and we see like our doppelgangers, and like, you know, I don't know. This shit kind of scares me when they start getting into this shit, because there's so much that we don't know about it, and we're just gonna go fucking. This could like destroy like the world. This hadron collider that they're just fucking playing around with like it's nothing. All right, here's one that I was gonna talk about. Let's get rid of this one. The pussification of America. Okay. During the Super Bowl, there were people who complained and filed complaints with the FCC about Katy Perry and about a couple commercials. Okay, so this has some of the comments. I would like the purity of my daughters protected. This was essentially soft porn, wrote one father who was angry about the Carl's Jr. commercial featuring a seemingly naked model. It was exactly what they just said. It was a seemingly naked model. There was no nudity. It just looked like the person probably wasn't wearing any clothes. And we're getting pissed off about that? There were 34 complaints about the Super Bowl, most of which focused on sexuality in commercials and swear words during the halftime show, which featured singers Katy Perry, Missy Elliott, and Lenny Kravitz. WRAL filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the FCC to get copies of the complaints, which were made available Tuesday. Viewer names were redacted. A massive fine, let's see here. A massive fine is in order to prevent the viewing public from ever again seeing a young female singing on a family venue, "I kissed a girl and I liked it." Action must be taken to correct this in the future. Do so. Girls sprawled in chairs with their legs spread open and breasts bulging out of their bras is absolutely inappropriate to hold up in front of a grade school children and families. Otherwise, we're upset about the Nationwide commercial that featured a dead boy. Look, I remember that one. That was pretty fucked up. But I'm not going to complain to the FCC. Complain to Nationwide. Their commercial caused my niece to get upset. My sister had to calm the child down. Oh, fuck off. It caused a whole lot of extremely and horrifying emotional triggers. At least one viewer was unhappy with the volume of the broadcast. The commercial for Chicago Fire was so loud it woke our sleeping child. This is the kind this is the kind of shit that people send our government. This is why our government is fucked up too. Okay, it's not just the crooked politicians. It's the retarded people that want the government to monitor your children and hide your children from the shit that really happens in the real world. I mean, come on, man. Alright, I've been sitting on that one for a while, so I can cross that one off. Obama thinks that weed is going to be reclassified at some point, but he doesn't think that anyone should consider it a priority because there's other things with finances and things like that that should be considered a priority. Because apparently the bazillion dollars that Colorado's gotten isn't anything that's going to help with finances. Yeah, you keep going with that, Obama. Firing squads in Utah are legal again. And I don't know how you do that. You know, it's supposed to be, they say, because there's a shortage on drugs that you're supposed to use. Look, man, I tell you what. Just if there's other ways that you can do this instead of getting like shot. And that said, how do they make people do that? I mean, if I couldn't do that, let's say I was a cop or something like that, I couldn't just shoot somebody like an execution squad or anything. That's crazy. I mean, is that something? Do they force you to do it? Is it part of your job requirement and you can't say no? There is your religious freedom. Hey, there's a segue into religious freedom. How about that? So there's this thing called the Religious Freedom Act. Okay, and they're talking about it here in North Carolina now. Let me see here. Where is this? I remember this as a short story. Yeah, so an IBM executive told Governor Pat McCrory that IBM opposes North Carolina's religious freedom bill that they're working on. It's a short article. Technology giant IBM's top North Carolina executive is telling the state lawmakers and Governor Pat McCrory the corporation strongly opposes the Religious Freedom Restoration Bill. Supporters of the bill say it protects religious convictions. Opponents worry it allows discrimination against gays and lesbians. IBM executive Robert Greenberg, which I thought was an interesting line, the gays and lesbians, said the company, which employs thousands at its Research Triangle Park campus and more statewide, is worried the bill becomes law. It would enable discrimination based on sexual identity. I don't like that term either. McCrory spokesperson Josh Ellis did not respond to requests. Supporters say the legislation would protect business owners or individuals against laws requiring them to act in ways contrary to their religious beliefs. Opponents say the measure would amount to legalizing discrimination. The bill was introduced last month and is in a committee. First of all, it's sad that this bill is going to get more conversation and debate than the weed bill that they killed a couple weeks ago. Okay? That's just sad. Now, here's the thing. You can't discriminate against people. Okay? And the reason I thought it was interesting that they said gays and lesbians is because it's really not different than black people. I mean, back in the day when people were racist and prejudiced and you could get away with that kind of shit against black people. Well, it's the same thing. It's just not racial anymore. It's about who you're going to fuck. There's no reason for it. It's stupid. So it's obviously it's discrimination. Okay? That said, I kind of like the idea of knowing who the people are that support this kind of shit. You know, that pizza restaurant in Indiana that closed down because of all the death threats and bullshit that they got because they wouldn't cater a gay wedding. I don't want to go there. It's good to know, oh, well, fuck these guys. I didn't go to Chick-fil-A for a while until the son came out and apologized for all the stupid shit the dad was saying. They had to sunset that dad. I want to know. Excuse me, I haven't bought Barilla either. I want to know who these fucking dum-dums are. So I like the idea that that kind of information will get out. I think that's good and important. But, you know, sadly, I don't think it's the right way to go. As much as it would be nice for all those guys to go out of business. It's just not going to. And the Religious Freedom Act, look, you know what? There's a lawsuit that some guys who retired, some magistrates retired from North Carolina, and they're suing North Carolina because them having to marry gay people goes against their religious beliefs. No one gives a fuck what your religious beliefs are. You are a public servant. Your religious beliefs don't mean shit. If you don't want to marry two gay people, do exactly what you did, resign, and go get another job doing something else. But you don't get to sue it. This is ridiculous. You work for the people. If something is the law, then you have to uphold it. You don't get to pick and choose what you're going to do because of your religion, okay? So that's bullshit. But the whole thing is it's getting you. That's why it's separated, church and state. Just people need to just use some common sense, for fuck's sake, a little bit at least. And yeah, I'll talk about the gun thing. It's probably better we talk about guns when Diver's not here. Here's the deal. We had a shooting here in North Carolina. Okay, I would imagine it made national news. I'm not positive, but I would imagine it did. So this guy went in to Wayne Community College, which is, I think it's a couple counties over, and he shot and killed a professor. And they released the picture of him, and he looked exactly like what you would think he would look like. All the tattoos everywhere, a bunch of neo-Nazi shit, a scraggly beard. It was textbook. Well, he fled, jumped on hitchhiked on a motorcycle, I think it was, down to Florida because his getaway car broke down. And they found him on the beach, some beach in Florida, asleep. And it's illegal to sleep on a beach in Florida. So the cops took him in, and then they sent him up here. Now, he had his first court appearance, and apparently he had a little outburst and started yelling obscenities at the judge and blah, blah, blah. He did an interview with the local news here and said he did it. He says that the guy he killed was a child molester. Now, his mom, the suspect's mom, came out and said she has no clue what he's talking about. He's sick, has mental problems, blah, blah, blah. So I guess we'll see how this goes down. But he looks like he did it. Now, Tim McGraw, and this is the gun part. Tim McGraw was gonna do something. What's the name of the charity? He's doing a concert for Sandy Hook Promise. Okay. A lot of people are all pissed off about this, and I saw a couple things about it, and I kind of blew it off for a little bit. But I saw, Tim McGraw is playing a concert for anti-gun group and gun control group and blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of surprised because, Tim McGraw's a gun guy. I know that because I've seen him in interviews. That doesn't make much sense. So I went to the website, the Sandy Hook Promise website. And he finally released a statement, too, today, which 1,000% makes sense to me. I went to this website. The front page has a TED Talks by one of the mothers of the victims of Sandy Hook. Let's say it happened. Conspiracy theory. One of the parents from one of the people who died there. That was sad. She held up pretty well. But the thing of it is, I didn't really see it on the website. I didn't hear it in her speech. This doesn't seem to be an anti-gun thing. This seems to be it's all about learning about gun safety and learning about, things to look for with mental issues like depression and things like that, how to find it, what to look for in your friends and you. It's about education. This is some of the education that everybody should have. Guns should be taught in all schools, okay? I'm not saying everyone has to go out and fucking shoot a fucking perfect 10, but you should learn how a gun works and what it does. Because the biggest thing with guns that in my opinion, that makes people hate guns is not knowing about it, and it's fear. So I don't know why people are getting all over Tim McGraw. I guess they're so caught up in the asses of their Republican Party that they don't really understand what's happening. Tim McGraw came out. He's like, I like my guns, but I'm all for gun education, which is what he's trying to do. That's what this thing seems to be all about. Leave him alone. Westboro Baptist Church wants to go to Iraq to protest ISIS. I can only hope they all go. That would be really fucking cool. I think it would be really fucking cool anyway. I think it'd be awesome. And then last but not least, I guess I'll go through them real quick. Look, first of all, Daredevil. I've got 3 episodes left. Daredevil has been a fucking ridiculously good show. Very well done. And not even all that super duper superhero-y. and you don't have effects or anything. It's just a really good story, some damn good fight choreography, and good acting. It's gritty. It's good. I'm loving it. Justified ended. It was good. I kind of want... Look, spoiler. If you haven't seen Justified, it's going to go Justified and then Game of Thrones, and I'm getting the fuck out of here. But spoiler on these next two things. You know, Justified, it was a hell of a show. I would have liked to have seen a slightly different ending. You know, the way that they ended it, I didn't like Raylan and Boyd. I wanted them to have their showdown, and they never had their showdown. Look, the one with Boone was great, and I gotta start watching that MMA show that was on, because I know Boone was in it, and I think he played a crazy guy in that too. What's his name? The hell is his name? I'm looking right at it. The guy who plays Boone though in Justified. But it was good. Is Raylan gonna get out of jail? Or not Raylan, Boyd. Is Boyd gonna get out of jail and go after Raylan now? They tied up the loose ends with what's her name, Ava. But what happens with Raylan and Boyd? Or is it just done because Boyd thinks Ava's dead? I just don't know where they're gonna go with it. Ava was in the paper, and that's how Raylan found her. What's to say that doesn't happen again, and then Boyd finds her in 20 years? So I like to see just something tied up a little bit better. But it was good. And Game of Thrones on Sunday, holy shit, that was good. That burning scene, whoo, that was tense. That was pretty tense. Yeah, everyone, look, man, go fucking watch Daredevil. It really is a phenomenal show. They did such a great job with Daredevil. Just, check it out. It's really, really good. Other than that, I think I'm over. I don't think I have anything else to talk about.
What? Over?
Yeah.
Did you say over?
Yes.
Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
German?
Maybe.
Forget it, he's rolling.
And it ain't over now. Because when the going gets tough...
Alright, enjoy the fights. Have some fun. Watch some shit. Relax. Have a
The tough get going! Who's with me? Let's go! Come on!
See ya!
Referring blunts is all that's needed. So high, my nigga, let's get B.O.D. So high, referring blunts is all that's needed. So high, let's get B.O.D. For you, baby, fucked up, look at your faded. I am what I am, as a thug in the land, and that's all that I am. Damn, you better come join this thugs the party. Blood smoke up in your body. My nigga, let's get B.O.D. So high, referring blunts is all that's needed. So high, my nigga, let's get B.O.D. Blunts is all that's needed. So high, let's get P.O.D.
Let's all get lit, let's spit the swish and quickly twist this up a fatty. Now I've been smoking out all day long, P.O.D. in the back of cribs, it's caddy. How with a word it matters, the smoke is many about it.